All right, Broncos country, we are back. This is Mic'd Up Broncos, your Broncos game show. I'm your host, Mike Carmelini, and I could not be more excited about the two people sitting in front of me tonight. Joey Richards, Nick Kendell. This show is going to be lit. It is time, gentlemen. We've been waiting. I've been waiting for this battle. This is going to be a good one. These two guys are my go-to draft gurus. They're the 17th ranked free safety. They got their big boards. They're working them up. Joey Richards, Let's Talk Broncos. Nick Kendell, Building the Broncos. Broncos for Breakfast. We got Let's Talk Buffs with Joe. You guys got so many shows I can't keep track. How you feeling? Are you guys ready for this competition?
Very ready. I've been talking football with Nick for a very long time, so I know how knowledgeable he is on it. I feel like I have a little bit of a disadvantage being the younger one in here, especially with the trivia stuff. That's something I realized.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I totally screwed you guys on trivia tonight too. So there we go.
I'm done.
What does it say? Broncos trivia? What champ?
It just says it's a Broncos trivia game. I'm gonna be honest. I've never opened it. My parents found it at a garage sale, but it's fun to have in the background. So, it's good. It's all good.
It's always been hidden behind your right or left shoulder. I can never tell with
left.
these reverse.
Yeah,
it's your left.
Weird, whatever.
Yeah. I've never noticed it sitting there. So if I had, I probably would have Venmo'd you money until I talked you out of it. But since it was a gift, I'll give up on that. Nick, how you feeling over the flus and all that? Feeling good?
Daycare is a crazy thing. You spend half your income, and they come home with a new virus every other week. So, something new, but it's always good. We're getting through, and has slept through the night the last 3 nights for the first time in a long time. So
that's a blessing.
We're taking it, man. It's day by day, and we're loving it.
Well, guess what? It gets worse because they go to school, and it doesn't cost you money at least. But then they bring home different stuff. But by the time they're in like 8th grade, you're going to be absolutely immune to everything. So congratulations for that, I suppose. All right, guys, let's start the game. Let's get it off right. You both get a point just for showing up. Beautiful. And my completely unqualified producer, Chewy, will handle the scoring. Chewy, you got that? All right, cool. Let's not have you score watching. We'll update you later. And Joey, you won the toss, so you're going to kick it off for us. Let's get your State of the Union for our Denver Broncos as we sit here. January 30th, 2025.
Yeah, I guess I'm just really I think this draft class is really great for the Broncos. That's my number one thing for the Broncos that I would have to say right now. I really like this running back class. I really like this tight end class. I really like this defensive line class. The positions I've dug into the most. And I feel like the Broncos can't go wrong picking any of those positions if the player is the right player on the board for the Broncos there. So now coming off of the Senior Bowl and even seeing more of the depth at those positions in the class, like, hey, I think Broncos are sitting in a really pretty spot entering this season and their first playoff appearance for a really long time.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Nick, what do you got to say about that? What's your State of the Union as we're sitting here today?
My State of the Union is more big picture. When I look at a franchise in the NFL, what are the things you're looking for? You want to have good ownership who has money, but it's not about milking the franchise for money. Check. You want to have a head coach that is preferably an offensive innovator that is honestly the flavor of the year. It seems like everybody wants his coaches right now. So check. And you want a young, cost-controlled quarterback. Check. I mean, things are good in Broncos country. We can also take it down a level as well. Your important positions on the roster, defensive line. Denver's pretty good right there. Offensive tackles. When's the last time Denver's had stability for multiple seasons at offensive tackle? Check. You got the best defensive player in football at cornerback, another value position. Check. Cortland Sutton's come off his best year of his career. Check. So obviously Denver's not there with the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs. I'll throw the Lions and the Eagles in there too. I think there's 5 teams are better than everybody, despite what the Lions Commanders game said. Lions are hurt, but Denver's just in a phenomenal position. And really, I think it's time to turn up the gas. Expectations change. Sean Payton set that expectation. We're coming for the Chiefs. That's the expectation next year.
Yeah. Well done. Joey, do you have any thoughts on what he said?
I think he's absolutely right. I love the point he touched at the beginning with the ownership. I feel that is a point that's not talked about a lot. And the reason why the Broncos are even able to kick off and see the improvements in such a fast time like they have. I really do believe that when you sit there and think about the owner you'd kind of want for your team, it's you want them to have deep pockets and let the football people do the football stuff, which is exactly what the Walton Group has done over there. So love our owners. I love that point by Nick.
Yep. Nick, last words.
Just back to Joey here. The draft lines up pretty well for Denver as well. And it's also not just the draft. I know it's always kind of like in that picture, but Denver doesn't have a lottery pick this season. So it's a lot of the guys that are already on the roster. And I'm pretty excited about, some of the up and coming players as well that we have on here. Marvin Mims breaking out, Riley Moss. So Denver has a lot of cap where they can go after non-premium positions. So you're not going to be paying as much a proportion of your cap to fill in some areas too. So again, Denver's just in a really good spot. I mean, how far can this team go? Probably comes down to, is Bo Nix a top 20 quarterback? Is he a top 10 quarterback? We'll find out we don't have to figure that out yet. He's a franchise quarterback. To what degree? We'll find out. Yeah. But man, what a great spot to be for Broncos country. And it's been a long time coming.
First time on the show, Nick came to play. I love it. He's not here to be your patsy, Joey. You better back up. You better get it on. That's a great first segment. I know nobody did. I knew what we were going to get when he got you guys up here anyway. This is going to be a little bit of a draft-centric show. I want some thoughts, but I had a thought first. Nick, this is a segment I call Change My Mind. I'm going to propose something, and you don't have to agree or disagree, but your job is to change my mind. I'm going to say that although tight end and running back, wide receiver are super important in this offseason for us, I believe that inside linebacker is just as important. And if there's an inside linebacker that is a difference maker, and I'm not talking about was it Janty? Is that how you pronounce his name? You guys are
Janty.
I'm not Janty. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, you got a really good running back and a really good inside linebacker. I'd be tempted to take an inside linebacker before the running back because it's a deep class. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Nick, talk me out of that. Talk me down from the ledge.
Talk you down from linebacker round one. Well, the first thing is there an actual linebacker worthy of that selection at Denver? You have two guys right now that seem to be the main targets there for linebacker that could be there at 20. Jalen Walker from Georgia, Jihad Campbell from Alabama. Both those guys are a little tweenerish. Let's be honest. I think Jalen Walker, you never see him go backwards, so coverage is going to be a question for him. Jihad Campbell's a little bit more coverage ability, I think, but the processing, the instincts, it's still a little bit point and shoot for me as well. So that's another area where we talked about it, or I talked about it earlier in the show. Linebackers, you can find quality linebackers in free agency every single offseason for relatively a decent contract compared to like a wide receiver, cornerback, et cetera, et cetera. And the other aspect, if you go back 10 years, I mean, I don't have the data exactly in front of me here, but the hit rate on first round linebacker is pretty darn bad. Now, it's not to say linebackers are not, but the NFL, I believe it's more of a misevaluation from the NFL. They have a hard time evaluating what actually makes a good NFL linebacker from college tick compared to just the traits where like defensive line, offensive tackle, you have these numbers, these measurables that we know correlate to NFL success. Not always the case for linebacker. It's much more neck up. If you have that other stuff, it's great. You want to have strength, length, size, all of that. But I mean, it's really a heads up position. If you walked out, let's just say Zaven Collins, first round pick, Vance Joseph didn't work so well for him, linebacker, another reason maybe not to take one there. Be worried about that. And then you have the best linebacker in football, Fred Warner. I mean, he's obviously an NFL player, but unassuming as far as body type tools, first round, falls to the third round. That's just the trend of where the NFL is at right now. So not that it's not valuable and important, but there's a lot of risk for linebacker round one because the hit rate is not very good.
Yeah. Well done. I agree with everything you said. Joey, thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I largely agree with Nick with everything he just said right there. I also just To the importance factor of how the defense performed this year, the Broncos linebacker really weren't good. They were not good this year.
That was
they
the whole
still had
point.
a good defense. They still had a really good defense. I do think it's also easier to get a guy like a Josie Jewell level type linebacker in there for relatively cheap, to Nick's point. I also just think that the linebacker's not helping the most important thing on the team right now, which is Bo Nix. I think that's at least in the point where if I'm deciding between a running back that's comparable level player to the linebacker, I might lean on the running back because, hey, we need to get our quarterback a run game this next season. Especially if you're trying to make a further in the playoff push, they're going to need it. So yeah, maybe just that as well.
Yeah. Great points all around. I honestly didn't believe what I was saying anyway, so that was just part of the game. I appreciate the effort, though. You would have changed my mind even if I did believe it. And you got bonus points, Joey, just for saying it helps Bo Nix. If you can somehow insert that into whatever conversation we're having, it's probably going to get you another point. All right. Let's move on. This is called What's in a Name. Joey, when you did this and last week, I just gave the guys a name of a player and asked them what nickname they went by. This week, we're bringing it up a notch because my lovely assistant, Chewy, came up with this idea for me. This time, I'm going to show you a picture of a player, and I'm going to make it bigger so you guys can actually see it. You're going to see the picture of a player. If you can identify the player, you will get a point. If you can give me, if you can,
right there, I did it.
that's point. Boom, you just got a point. Told you, I'm a man of my word. All right, these are, not Broncos, not necessarily Broncos. They are not current players. So I'm old. Get ready for a little bit of a challenge. Some are easier than others, but honestly, you guys should know all these and should maybe know all their nicknames, but you should know them all. No pressure. Don't worry. You can't get deducted, points for being wrong unless you steal, Nick. This is very important. If you steal, if I offer up a steal and you go for it and miss, you do lose a point.
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go. Joey Richards. Who dat ninja?
Marshawn Lynch?
Yes, sir, and that's a point. See, this isn't so hard. Come on, dog.
Okay,
let's go.
Okay.
You got a nickname?
Beast Mode?
2 points. See, you were worried for nothing, Joey.
There
I
you
feel
go.
the stress just bleeding right off you.
It would be hilarious if you gave Joey like layups, and then mine were just like super obscure.
You were here when we flipped the coin, were you not, Mr. Kendell?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Here we go. Here's a meatball for you. Right there.
Oh, Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
Look at that. Look at that. Love it. I get to push all my buttons. You just nailed it.
I feel the curveball coming right now. I know how this is going to go.
Boom. Who that ninja?
Oh, my
this
gosh.
Freak?
Oh, my
You
gosh.
recognize him, don't you?
Yeah, and his last name starts with a B, I'm pretty sure, right?
Nick's gonna know this one, so you should really try. And
oh
get
my
it.
gosh, I can't remember. I cannot. It's one of those things. Nick, go ahead, man. Take it.
Boswell, the Boz.
Well,
Oh my God, he gets it both. He gets the nickname and the name. Oh, see, Nick, this is like scoring at the end of the half and then getting the ball first in the second half. Here's your chance to show him how it's done. A classic.
Oh, that's Joe Namath, Hollywood.
Broadway
Joe. Wrong side. Yeah, you can -1 +1, whatever. Broadway Joe.
No, you don't lose points.
Do I get a steal Broadway?
You get a steal. Broadway. Isn't that fucked up? You got a steal. I'm pushing every button I have. I confuse myself. Don't worry, it's a 1-point game. You're not winning or losing in this one. All right, who are we back to? Joey?
Yep, I believe so. Reggie White.
Yes, sir.
I have no idea on the nickname. I'll be honest.
You steal, Nick? Let me see your hands. You're not Googling.
I don't know Reggie
White.
White's nickname. No, I don't know Reggie White's nickname.
If you guess and you're wrong, you lose a point.
Nope, I won't do it.
So he was a pastor for a church.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
That would have been your hint. And so they called him the Minister of Defense, which was a great nickname. And a great player.
Wasn't there a defensive lineman for the LA Rams that was also the Minister of Defense? No, that was Secretary of Defense. Excuse me. I think Deacon Jones, I think. Back in the day.
All right, you don't get points for that, but that's
no. I just was like,
I mean, that kind of kissing up didn't work for Seegers. It's not going to work for you. He tried to impress me with some stats that I didn't ask for. I almost deducted points.
No, you should have.
Yeah. He was very competitive. That was a great show. Joey, you should watch him and call him go at it on the show if you get to freaking hour. I had this show slotted for 30 to 35 minutes.
There you go.
Within a minute of starting that show and listening to Zach and Cullum, I knew that I'd vastly underestimated their ability to yap about Broncos. The show took an hour. Who's up?
It's
easy peasy.
Now. That's Lawrence Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Hall
I don't
of
know the
Famer.
nickname. Yep, I don't know the nickname. LT.
Joe.
LT.
Oh,
right?
it's LT.
Yeah.
It's the nick of time. Nick of time. Get it? I've been wanting to use that my whole life. Well done. Yeah, he's so good that just his initials are his nickname, like OJ or the J. So I would have accepted either, but I won't use OJ for obvious reasons. Tough one.
Oh my gosh, I don't have no idea.
This is really tough.
This is another one. Okay, I don't know. Nick, do you know this?
He was a Bronco and a Raider.
I don't know this one.
This guy's name is Lyle Alzado.
Yeah.
He was super famous. He played for the Raiders and the Broncos, and his nickname was Darth Vader, Darth Raider, which I thought was amazing. I apologize to Joey for this because Nick close us out with that one.
Troy Polamalu.
Uh-huh. Any idea on the nickname?
I'm not going to guess. If
I guess,
I
because it's yours. You don't lose a point for guessing your own.
Flying Hawaiian?
No,
he's not.
I have no idea. I have no idea on the nickname.
He was a Tasmanian Devil was his nickname. So no biggie. All right, we still got a close game, and we're gonna move on to something a little bit else. Let's talk a little bit about draft, guys.
Okay.
Wide receiver position was, a bit of a struggle, but Cortland Sutton was very solid. Bo obviously loves him. Vele was a surprise, 7th round pick? Is that correct? Franklin, we'll see about him. Mims came on there at the end when they figured out how to use him. Joey, what are we going to do at wide receiver in free agency in the draft?
I mean, in the draft, I really do. I think what the Broncos need is an actual alpha wide receiver one guy. I think that's one of their biggest needs on the team. It's just, how do you go about finding that guy? I don't think you're going to be able. I wouldn't be the one that's investing in T. Higgins in the offseason with his injury history and just how much the price is going to drive up to. He is that alpha number one type. I just don't know if the Broncos are the right fit for him right now. And then when I look at the draft, I still don't see that type of guy. I think you can add to this room, or I don't see this type of guy when come pick 20. I think Travis Hunter, for example, could end up being that guy, but no chance at pick 20. Right? It's hard for me to imagine them getting that guy. So, I mean, it's just continuing to add good players to the room at the end of the day, finding guys that fit better. I know Nick has brought up on Twitter a couple times Chris Godwin. That's a really interesting one. If his his physicals came back right, that would be a really interesting one. You probably could get him cheaper than if he wasn't hurt the year before too. If that worked out, that'd be fantastic. I would just continue to take lower risk swings at it at wide receiver until you do think you can find that alpha number one guy, because right now I just don't see any available for the Broncos. You think
Sean Payton might go out and do another Reynolds signing or something like that?
That's exactly what I kind of think is going to happen. I don't think he's been one to invest super high into that wide receiver either. Brandon Cooks is a guy that they drafted in the first round while he was down there and ended up trading him for a first just a few years later. I think he thinks that this Broncos wide receiver room he's going to be able to work with. This is my theory. And he's just going to continue to take low risk swings at it. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah. Nick, what do you think?
I'm pretty lockstep with Joey in that, just because I think the free agents market for wide receivers specifically, not only is it going to be poor this season, but it's also wild. I mean, what did Jerry Jeudy sign for? I know he wasn't a free agent necessarily, but he got paid unbelievable. Calvin Ridley got paid ridiculous as well. So, I mean, honestly, what does Denver do at wide receiver? You probably look at like, hey, Sutton, what's a few more years on that deal for you to get some money in your pocket to stick around? I know they've been on the market there a few times with him, but the market is wild out there for wide receiver.
Yeah.
I will say Bronco country is obviously and understandably very like Tyler Warren and Ashton Genty obsessed right now. I would be curious, and I don't think it'll happen, but if Tedero McMillan starts slipping at all with his ability to be a big slot, his catch radius, his slot ability, his yak ability, I mean, the comparison I've heard a lot with him is Drake London, who's like this new age big slot because he is so good in the quick game. He's so physical both before and after the catch. And I mean, whether it be Marquise Colston or Michael Thomas, that like big catch radius physical guy that wins in the slant, in the short areas over the middle of the field, doesn't just have to be a running back or a tight end. I think Peyton is good enough, and he'll tell you that as well, that he's going to make the best of the weapons that he has available to him. I think he's gone tight end and running back just because it's been easier to find those guys in wide receivers, but I don't think he's necessarily picky either. Just find me weapons. I will make the best and put them in the best situations. Just quarterback, get them the ball in time.
Yeah. Awesome takes, both of you guys. I 100% agree with you too. It's the Z position, right? Is the one that
Z and slot. Yeah, I think you're looking for both of those because it's not only you're looking at Troy Franklin. Maybe he's in there, but it's the little Jordan Humphrey mold as well, right? Like
right, the blocking
wanted to get a guy like that, which is the big slot. It's that wide receiver tight end hybrid.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move over to the running backs. This is the big one, right? We've got a big class. Apparently, I lean on you guys for that, but apparently there's a lot of running backs. I was on a show last night, Dublin to Denver, and Colum or Stewart said that the running back from Tennessee, maybe SEC running back of the year or whatever, and he's not even listed on some of the people's boards. So, I don't put a lot of weight into boards and stuff, but is he somebody the Broncos should be looking at later? And if so, or if not, who should they be? Who's the best running back for what Sean Payton wants to do? And Joey, I throw it to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best, and I'm just looking at the best running back. So actually, first I'm going to say I think the Broncos could go in a plethora of different styles at running back even this year. I'm not even just looking at a single style because in a committee, we like multiple roles from our running backs. We like multiple skill sets from our running back, and I think any of them could be replaced. I don't think anybody's immune from saying, hey, Jaleel McLaughlin, we found your replacement. Javonte Williams, we found your replacement. All these guys, jobs can be gone. So I'm really just looking at it as who's the best running backs here because I could find a spot for you on this team right now. Ashton Genty is, I think, the best running back pound for pound in this class. I also think he would be a dramatic like increase in play and just performance for the Broncos from last year. Maybe an under the radar guy. DJ Giddens is a player I really like from Kansas State.
Oh yeah.
Really, he's an upright runner style. Like he runs very high, which concerns me ever so often, but really good vision. Very productive at Kansas State. I got to see him for prepping for the CU game, and he lit them up. There's a whole low lights Shiloh Sanders highlights from that game because of DJ Giddens.
Yeah.
So, DJ Giddens a baller. He's somebody I'd keep an eye out for. Maybe I don't know, day 3, somewhere early day 3.
Nick, what do you got? Running backs, talk to me.
We could go for 2 hours talking running back in this class.
Let's
because
not.
We won't. But it is going to be a historic class in terms of the depth. Mel Kiper, I heard him talk the other day that he has 33 draftable grades on running backs in this class. Typically you have 15 maybe. So it is an absolutely unbelievable class. And to that point, I'm with Joey that I think it's a double up proposition. I wish we had more picks in the top 150 because I'd love to nab 2. And the modern day example, I think for what we're looking for with Sean Payton here in the backfield is what Ben Johnson did with the Lions. Obviously, the Lions are raiding the Broncos, and there's a little bit of overlap there in terms of staff. So the power guy between the tackles, Montgomery, to your little bit more thunder, your lightning guy in Jahmyr Gibbs. So I think that obviously Ashton Genty is the best back in the class, but if you're looking for a David Montgomery type, Omarion Hampton from North Carolina, he can do a little bit of everything. He runs violently. I think he's a very good gap runner, good in pass protection as well. He's somebody that, I mean, honestly, if Denver wants him, I don't really believe in trading up from 20 in this class, but I think there's a chance you trade up round 2. If you have a running back that's like, that's my guy, and there's a drop after that, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Denver jumped in front of the Bears to get Omarion Hampton, because I see a lot of David Montgomery when I watched him, and I don't know if he'd last past the Bears. Another guy I really like, also probably you're talking round 2, maybe round 3 with the injury. Not exactly Jahmyr Gibbs, but the explosiveness, the pass protection, the ability to be flexed out as a wide receiver. Trayvon Henderson, I mean, hello, welcome to reintroduce yourself. Ohio State, he was a superstar freshman, dealt with an injury. That's going to be the big caveat in Indy. The medicals are more important than anything that goes on in Indianapolis. But he is electric, and he brings just an anger to pass protection as well. And this season we had Javonte Williams, not very dynamic, one of the probably worst running backs in football as a runner, but Denver trusted him in pass protection, and he was the second leading pass catcher, target getter on the team this season.
Yeah,
number
65.
5 running back in targets this season. There is obviously a role, as Joey said, for anything at the running back, but I look at Omarion Hampton and Henderson as 2 guys, round 2 specifically, I'd be over the moon to get in Denver.
Yeah, and I well done. Zach was talking about a stat as far as the running game. So it was like the Broncos were the 6th best in run blocking.
It was like rushing yards before contact, and then rushing yards after contact.
And then 30th in rushing yards after contact. And so that tells a story.
Yep.
You know,
and
almost
Javonte Williams also a good. It's really hard to isolate running back statistics, but there's one that I really like is yards after contact per carry, and you want to obviously have a qualifying number there, because if you have one running back and he breaks a tackle and goes 99 yards and he's done, it's going to be a big number. So you want to have a qualifying number in there. But Javonte Williams, before his injury, he was always like top 4 in the NFL in yards after contact per carry, and the last 2 seasons he's been like bottom 4. So it sucks. That's the nature of the running back. It's one reason that even though I don't believe in using always like first round pick or trading up for them, you do want to have a stable of talent in there. So that's where we're at with Denver right now.
All right, guys, halftime. All right, doesn't get much closer than that. Hope you guys are watching. How did I lose my screen? Here we go. I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. Let's take a quick look at the NFL. Eagles, Chiefs. Before you really look into it, who you got, Joey?
Listen, saying the Chiefs will win can't even come out of my mouth right now. I'm so sick of it, man.
Not unless you want to lose points.
I'm tired of it.
Remember where you are.
I don't like people telling me to stop hating on greatness. No, I'm hating on greatness right now. That's how I feel. I really am. I won't say the Chiefs are going to win. I mean, realistically, they are on a absolute tear. This obviously first team ever that could go win their 3rd Super Bowl in a row. That's insane. I'm going Eagles though. That's the way my gut is pulling.
Good boy. Nick, what do you think?
I think that it's nice that they're sandwiching a football game around the Kendrick Lamar concert at halftime. I'm excited for that. I love it. And also Chiefs-Eagles play. Who wins? I don't know, but America loses. I think that if you're making me choose, I think just to take the bite out of it, I'm just going to say Chiefs, so that way I'm not disappointed when they lose. Maybe that's just me preparing for the worst.
Sure, we all do that. But
the last time the Chiefs and Eagles played is the only time I've never watched a Super Bowl since Super Bowl 32. I was on a beach in Hawaii somewhere, and I would recommend that again to anybody.
I would
rather than
recommend
watching
that
Chiefs
too.
and Eagles again. So
okay, well, Dave Logan was talking about this game, and he, a lot of times we'll say the team that makes the mistakes is the one that loses, and he actually was saying, the way that the teams are playing right now to beat the Chiefs, not only can you not just turn the ball over, but there's going to be 3, maybe 4 plays in a game that you have to make. And when you don't make those plays, you lose, because the Chiefs will make those plays. And I think that rang true in that Buffalo Chiefs game where I don't think Buffalo had any turnovers in that game, and they created turnovers, but they didn't make plays that they could have, should have made that really would have turned that game. So I think it'll come down to that. And I also can't pick the Chiefs. So Nick, you now are down by 2 points just for saying it. And
Vic
Joey and I
Fangio
are-
revenge game. That's what I'm excited for.
Yep.
Redemption for Vic.
All right, guys, this is where the rubber meets the road. I like to say we are going to do mic'd up trivia.
Let's go.
You won the toss, Joey. I hope the meatballs don't. I hope you get all these after that debacle of a pick that Nick threw out there. Here we go. You get a point for answering these questions, and you get a point for stealing them. You lose a point if you're wrong on the steal. Joey, you are first. These are all draft questions. They are easy and then not easy.
Okay.
Broncos, second pick in the 2024 draft. Bo Nix was their first choice. Who was their second pick?
I don't even know why I'm blanking right now. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
I am literally ranking. We had. Why am I blanking? I don't know
Because
why.
it's pressure, because that's what pressure does to people.
Oh my gosh. I am literally blanking.
5, 4, 3.
This
two.
is gonna kill me. This is going to kill me. This is going to kill me. I don't know why I just blanked.
Can you steal, Nick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's Jonah Ellis.
It was Jonah Ellis at pick 76.
Good rookie year for
Joey,
Jonah
what
Ellis.
the hell, Joey? Oh my God! I thought these were meatballs at first.
It was. That's the issue. It absolutely was.
Oh, Nick, let me try to give you your point. Chewy, give him his point. There you go, Nick. For you, meatball. Who's the third pick in the 2024 draft?
It was Troy Franklin.
It was Troy Franklin at pick 102. Well done. All tied up, boys. He made up for that Chiefs pick. Now it's getting real. I'm nervous for you. All right, get a little harder here. Here we go. Joey, I apologize for this one. What year did the Broncos draft Noah Fant? First round tight end draft pick.
What year was that? Was it 2017?
Are you
2018?
asking me or are you telling me? You're going to have to pick
2018.
one. Going 2018?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's wrong.
Nick has it.
It's 2019.
Oh. I remember that whole class.
These are tough, man, because you do the work and then you put them in the past and then they're just crappy players and you forget, At least that's what happens to me. All right, we do this all over again, Joey.
It's going to be a good first.
It's my turn,
it's
isn't
Nick.
it?
Sorry,
Yeah,
Nick.
it's Nick's turn.
I told you I was new at this. Shut up. Who said it first? Nick, that's a point. You lose a point for correcting me. Just kidding. What year did the Broncos draft Baron Browning?
It's 2021.
Jesus Christ. Do you have the thing up in front of you?
Look
No,
at this
Better
guy.
not. Somebody in the room. All right.
I'm going to
To
go
Joey.
through this thing without. Okay, yeah.
Broncos last pick in 2023.
3.
Their very last pick.
Okay. I have no idea on this one either. Nick has it.
one.
Look at his face. He has it right now. I literally have no clue. Nick, go ahead.
Alex Forsyth.
Judas Priest. This just set up too well for Nick.
Yeah, this is killing me right now.
This is
The score has gone completely away. It's away from me now.
Oh my gosh.
no.
I did not expect this, although maybe I should have, because nerd scientists just remember all this stuff, that Rain Man shit. All right, here we go. Where are we at? Nicholas, who was the Broncos' third round pick in 2016?
I'm not going to be able to get any of this.
Man, I'm blanking on it. Oh, Justin Simmons.
He's good, man. He's good.
Holy shit, he is good.
He's good.
Oh man.
He's
I had this show as top billing, and you guys are not disappointing. Okay. Joey, you don't want to break my heart on this one. I want you,
so don't worry.
I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it.
Prepare yourself.
What year was DT
drafted? The years are killing me.
Mhm.
What was that? I'm just gonna throw a guess. Well, was it? I'm gonna say 08.
No, I'm sorry. It was not 08. Nick, would you like to steal?
I would like to steal.
How do you?
It was 2010.
It was 2010. Pick 22. Rest in peace, DT. Well done.
The second wide receiver drafted after Des Bryant.
That's right.
I do remember that. I remember the lunchroom arguments about Des versus Demarius. Those were intense.
All right, Nick. Drew Lock was what pick in the 2019 draft?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. 41st.
Could this be the one?
Was he 41st? Oh, okay, man.
Shut up.
Okay.
Shut up.
I have no idea. I know his second.
I know it now, but so yeah, Dalton Reisner would have been 41 and Drew Lock would have been 42.
Oh yeah, it was.
Drew Lock was 42.
Dang,
and
was
maybe
42.
you shouldn't have said what you just said because
well, there
what
you go,
pick
Joey.
was Dalton Reisner, Joey?
41.
He got a point. He got a point. Joey is back in the battle. I love it.
I'm not, but that was my one.
All right. Here we go. Nicholas, correct? Broncos first round pick in 2006 draft.
I believe they traded up for Jay Cutler.
At number like 14 or 11, something like that, right?
Something like that. Yep.
It was Jay Cutler. Well done.
It's absurd.
Well done.
Absurd.
Here you go, Joey. Where did Cutler play college?
It was wasn't it Vandy? Am I wrong? Yeah.
It was Vandy. You've recovered.
I could tell you the schools people went to. The years, I don't remember.
I always remember where he.
The way you're getting beat right now, this might be important information for me when you play somebody I don't like. I might feed you some schools and really screw somebody. I do have that power.
Do you remember what city he's from? Because they always said it in the broadcast. I always thought gave good chuckle from it.
No, I don't remember.
For some reason, I could be wrong here. Santa Claus, Indiana.
Oh, yes, he was.
They always talk Santa Claus, Indiana. Jay
Somebody
Cutler.
was. I think it was him, but somebody was definitely from Santa Claus. I do remember that.
Yeah.
And he turned out to be like a elf or something. Nick.
He was drafted in 2011. Oh man. Okay.
Joey.
So Nick's around there, right? So like I'm happy that I'm able to steal. If it was on my own, it would be. So now I'm gonna go 2010.
Yes, he pulled it out of
DT.
steal. Oh, brought us within. You're in striking range here. We got 53, 56. So, there's no quit in mic'd up Broncos trivia. All right, let's get back to it. Kind of went over everything you guys. Did we go everything that you guys got going? Joey, you got what's going on at Let's Talk Broncos these days? We've got the website going. We've got guys down in Mobile right? Down at the
Mobile
Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, whatever's going on there.
Yeah.
Frankie and Jacob are down there. I know you got some articles coming out on running backs and others. What else is going on over there at Let's Talk Broncos?
No, it's just full draft season swing right now. This is my favorite part of it. I love the player evaluation, love just trying to get an idea, and the projection, the imperfect process of projecting these players into the league and trying to get it right is a blast. And I mean, we're all on board of that. Like you mentioned, Jacob and Frankie, they just got back from Mobile today after the final practice today. Sounds like they had a terrific time. It was a blast when I went last year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
You were going to bars and finding people to talk to and stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So they came back with really good insight in their opinion. I trust them a ton on what they were looking at and what they saw. So that's all we have really going on right now. It's just full draft swing. So make sure you guys are paying attention to the Let's Talk Broncos YouTube, the Let's Talk Broncos website. Please, guys.
And you guys make a decision on Monday, Wednesday for the show, or are we going to do just whenever you can for a little bit, or what's the deal with the schedule for everybody wanting to know when you guys are going to come out?
Right now, it's always Monday, Wednesday. Just conflict with work yesterday, so people couldn't hop on.
And that's probably why you didn't answer my text. Didn't answer my text.
Sorry about that.
Point.
Sorry.
That's 1 point back to a 4-point lead. Nick, building the Broncos. Carl Dummler, right? And Broncos for Breakfast. Scott Kennedy. In some form or fashion, you guys kind of seem like it could be anybody on the shows, but isn't it normally Carl on building the Broncos and Scott on Broncos for Breakfast?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the main hosts. Obviously, with me being gone a lot over Christmas time back home in Iowa with the holidays, I was gone a lot. And mostly it's almost always Scott and I on the mornings because I'm up I do a Falcons show before that too.
I know. Like you get up at like 3:30 in the morning or something. Don't you?
Crazy. Up anyway, right? I don't sleep. Who needs it? But no, doing that stuff, writing for Mile High Huddle as well. So, enjoying it. Love this time of year. Also, it's really nice to just kind of put the quarterback debates behind us. The train, I always said the train doesn't leave the station until you have a quarterback. So we're here now. It's a fun time. Now, it's unfortunate because I'm not saying this is as good as it's ever going to get, but because the expectations change, the everything as far as the irritation when it's not just like happy to be here anymore, right? Like going forward. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is there. But no, it's a good time. I'm excited to talk all the different stuff here. And I know everybody wants a offensive weapon for Bo, but I'm glad to see some of Broncos country that I respect is starting to be like, you know what? Maybe defensive line should at least be equal footing right now. I think that's going to be the big debate this season for a lot of Broncos social media sphere.
Yeah, I saw Ryan was the one that tweeted first that I saw. He said something like, Broncos country, going over all running backs and wide receivers, and then the Broncos draft a defensive tackle or something like that. And I was like, I don't hate it, especially with a deep class at tight end and running back. Maybe it's the play. I don't know.
I've been banging the drum since I found my tweet. November 1st is when I tweeted it. I'm like, picking 16 to 24. I think it's going to be interior defensive line. And it just sets up that way. Zach Allen's had like 100 more snaps than any other interior defensive lineman. You're set to lose all 4 of your top interior defensive linemen in a year. I mean, and I very much for defensive line and trenches in general, I always say it's a campfire philosophy. You don't ever let a campfire go out if you want it to let roaring. Like once the embers are dead, do you throw a log on? Doesn't do anything. You have to keep it stoked and fed. So that's where I'm at with the defensive line this year.
Like how you bring everything back to mountain climbing somehow.
Have to. I got my Mount Rainier hat on today.
I'll tell you what, I'd love it. I love that we're not talking about coaches and quarterbacks and ranking quarterbacks and hearing everybody who's just like me, like saying who the best quarterback is and not knowing anything really about that, because that's what fans do. But at least I've never pretended to be anything but that. So, well, it's great catching up with you guys. Let's do the big deal here. This is the big debate. Joey, what's the most important position in this draft for the Denver Broncos? You start this debate off.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to point to because I think the positions that help the Broncos the most immediately are positions that I wouldn't consider premium. The Broncos have kind of set themselves up in a way to do that. So I think it depends how you're looking at it. Am I trying to make a big push for the playoffs right now? Because I think if that's the case, I'm looking at running back and I'm thinking the Broncos offense could really take off if they do exactly what Nick said earlier. If they're able to double dip and hit on both of those, I think that running back position last year was so bad, and I'm not exaggerating. I think it was really bad in a lot of cases. That it should be easy, especially with this class that we're discussing right now, to like make that a lot better fast with a single draft pick. When you look at first round picks, if it ended up being Ashton Genty, if it ended up being Hampton in the second round, or even maybe the first round, Caleb Johnson, there is a plethora of guys in this that could upgrade that room and have the Broncos offense looking a lot better than what it did last year, giving Bo Nix a run game. Sean Payton not really wanting to rely much on the straight drop back passing game last year without a run game, really, or an average run game, kind of below average run game, in my estimation. I think a lot of that is because of the running back position. I would love to know what this team looks like with the true back that can get you 100 yards in a game, and that has not happened in the Sean Payton era so far.
Yeah. Well done. Good job. You got a lot of points there. Nick, the pressure did kind of swing back to you here.
That's okay, and I'm going to totally cheat, and you can take points off the board for me on this one.
Okay.
I don't think it's about any singular position. I think it's about acquiring talent. I go through this roster and I look over it for the next 2 years, and this team could use a wide receiver. This team could use a tight end. They could use an interior defensive lineman. They could use 2 running backs. They could use 2 linebackers, to our point earlier. They could use a safety. The draft is deep enough in a lot of areas, but guess what? Denver doesn't have 3 first-round picks or 7 top 100 picks. You're not going to hit every single thing. It's just the reality of it. That's okay. So rather than be focused on running back, which I agree, that's probably the easiest avenue. That's what I would have gone with here as well, Joey. But I think it's more so trusting your board, getting the guys that fit the culture, the scheme, and trying to find difference makers. If that ends up being a linebacker, Daniel Jeremiah mocked him Nick Amanawari, a 6'3" safety who was like 94th percentile on every single athletic measurable. If it's Emeka Egbuka at wide receiver, who I think compares favorably to Chris Godwin, I don't care what position. They need to hit. They need to hit
one of those points
guys.
I took back from you.
So I think it's more so it's not about position. It's about talent and hitting on those things. Because when you look at the roster, it's easier to say areas where there isn't a pathway for better playmakers on this team. Offensive tackle, offensive guard, quarterback, probably cornerback and edge rusher as well. That's more of a 1-year thing than a 2-year thing. But really just add good players. Trust your board. Trust the culture fit. Trust the scheme. Add good players.
Yep.
Yeah. I get overall draft theory like that. I agree with everything you said, other than the fact that you didn't answer my question. I thought it was fantastic. All right, guys, we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to call it. Before I do, though, I want to talk to you, Broncos Country. I wanted to thank everybody who watched the first episode. I was blown away. My good friend Ben, who has a show called Sports Talk Denver with 20,000 subscribers, said, hey, the first 10 shows, you're going to get like 5 or 10 people are going to watch it. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. And last I checked, there were 360 people watched episode 1. So just a heartfelt thank you to all of you. If this is the first time watching, go back and watch episode 1 with Zach and Colm. That was amazing. This was, arguably better, but it was amazing. And please like and subscribe. There's a matrix or something algorithm. I don't know what that is, but my kids tell me it's important. So Chewy, let's bring up the winner. Let's see who squeezed it out to the end. It is Joey. He pulls it out.
Good job, Joey.
Well, I don't know how.
Sucked at trivia, but answered my damn questions when he was asked to. He knew the game. He knew what to do. Joey, what do you say to your competitor, Nick, who honestly kicked your ass the whole game? But you know what? It's the last 2 minutes, baby. It's the last 2 minutes. I mean, you got your ass kicked and came out with a win. I think the Broncos can relate to some things like that. What do you got to say to Nick?
I mean, I would like to. I don't know whether I want to be honest about the situation or not. I thought Nick. I'm pretty shocked right now that I have the 64 points on the board after not knowing the Broncos' second round pick in this prior draft. So no, it's awesome. I mean, I've been following Nick forever now. He's fantastic with everything he does. I'm a fan of his podcasts.
Me too.
I recommend everybody to go subscribe to those. So, yeah, good game, Nick. I'm shocked.
Nick, do you have anything to say to it's like the Chiefs when they blocked that field goal at the end?
I fumbled it away. I gave away the Dalton Reisman one. I gave away. It is what it is.
Oh my God, I wish I could give you points right now. This is like a winner talking. We need more winners in this world. 2 winners. I want a tie. I want a fucking tie.
It's okay. No, it's all good. I'm just happy to be here. Had fun. And anytime can come on and just talk Broncos football and just, the platform as well. That's a win in my book. So I appreciate that. Had a lot of fun. Yeah. And anytime.
Love it. Love it. All right. Joey, Mr. Richards, here's your chance. You are mic'd up for your mic drop. Get something off your chest. Teach us something. Tell us something. What do you got?
I don't know if I'm going to teach you guys anything. The main thing I want to tell you guys to go, please do, is subscribe to Let's Talk Broncos. Please make sure you guys are following all the amazing work. So many of the people, like part of that program, are doing the main thing. Like we mentioned earlier, Jacob and Frankie went to Mobile. That's something they've wanted to do for a really long time. Pat and Mario have their show. Jason Bishop, really good and talented writer for Let's Talk Broncos. We also have Bree. Everyone knows Bree. Very big on the radio. Zach Seegers are really great. I just want, please, everyone, please go make sure you're subscribing to Let's Talk Broncos. Please make sure everyone is on the website as well, as articles are dropping on there. And that's kind of Zach's baby, right? He's our editor. He has that whole thing cranking. And it's just, it's fun to see.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And I would echo what you said. When I was doing my reviews, I was watching and listening to, I didn't watch as many because I didn't have that kind of time, but I took them with me. I listened to both of you guys every time that it came up. I listened to it. There's Dublin to Denver was on my rotation. Dave Logan was on my rotation, but it was really just those 4. Like every time I saw it, I listened. And then the other ones I would listen to as I could. And so I'm just thrilled to death that you guys came on the show. I loved it. I thought it was a great show. It was a lot of fun seeing you guys. And, we'll do it again. We'll pair you up with somebody who doesn't talk about the Chiefs as much as Nick does and, and isn't a Chiefs lover. Okay, before we go, though, next week, Mario Vitanzi, Benjamin Albright will be on the show. It should be a banger. Those guys hate each other, and I can't wait to watch those two go at it. So if you guys are, if you guys are done with me, I am certainly done with you. It is that time of night. Again, thank you so much for coming on. Love to see you guys again. Until next time, go Broncos.